Okay, we're going to talk about the timing of promotion for Balbaroi and for Pele, because this is an important topic, and everyone kind of does this a little bit differently. I'm going to tell you what I favor, because what I favor, I feel like, is at this point different from what everyone else does. Balbaroi is a character who literally has just enough stats for us when we need him to have those stats. And so especially his like attack, we need at the end with the power ring and the chaos breaker equipped, like end of chapter 7, we need him to have 76 attack, 75 attack at the lowest. And it is possible to get him there, but there is with him being like a level 5 or a level 6, no, more like a level 7 or level 8 Balbaroi. If he's level 9 or 10, he's definitely at the attack values that he should be at, the attack values that we need him at. The problem is that at level 7, 6, 7, and 8, he has a tendency to gain a lot of speed. And the speed can often mess up strategies that we have in place for some of the bigger boss battles, namely Chaos. Basically just Chaos, which is in the third battle in Chapter 7. Similarly, Pele, we need him to be slow, like really slow. And he typically is a very slow unit. He doesn't gain a lot of his speed until later in his levels, like maybe early, like 8, 9, 10, early teens. Like that's when he's gaining more of his speed. But there are certain units in Chapter 6 that we need him to be going after, so we want him to be slow. That said, if you don't give him enough levels, his attack usually is going to be fine, but his attack could be better if you gain him a couple more levels. So where most of us see that the sweet spot is now is Pele being promoted immediately into Chapter 5. So as soon as you start Chapter 5, you use the Angel Wing to egress, you promote Pele. Some people will promote Balbaroi there. I don't promote Balbaroi there. I promote Balbaroi after 5-2, because what I try to do is prevent Balbaroi from leveling up too much and have what I would deem a weaker Balbaroi. But I'm taking the gamble on a weaker Balbaroi, lower attack values, for the higher likelihood that he's going to be a little bit slower. His agility is not going to be too high. I'm not sure what you mean. So basically, what I'm telling you that you have to figure out where you want to promote. Right now, the situation that we're in, I can't even promote Balbaroi now if I wanted to. He's only like level 9. Oh, that's right. If Henri happens to outturn Tao, you can use the speed ring. Or if you, for some reason, lost Tao in the last battle and you need to revive her, when it's Henri's turn, she has the speed ring, and if you use the speed ring, it casts the egress spell. Thank you, Cloud and Unos. I always forget that detail, to be honest. So what I'm going to do as soon as we get into Chapter 5 is I'm going to egress, I'm going to promote Pele, I'm going to pass the speed ring to Pele. Because I need Pele to be fast enough to pull the Pegasus Knights at a certain time. Hopefully this battle works out. I may need to rework this battle because I feel like it hasn't been very consistent lately. But hopefully we get a demonstration of what the battle should look like today. So I'm going to continue and go. Is there much difference for Balbs and Pele being promoted at 10 versus, say, level 12? Also a great question. And let's talk about that really quick. I'm gonna have to like. So we're using the Angel Wing to egress. and I'm pausing. I'm gonna have to like go through this whole VOD and like find these little snippets of when I explain game mechanics and like compile them into a tips and tricks video or something like that, which I feel like is gonna be really, really strange feeling. The question was asked, is there any value in promoting characters at like level 12 compared to level 10? And the answer is it depends. Which I hate that answer. I'll explain about, in general, the rule of thumb. If you're playing casually, if you want the strongest team possible, you should wait to promote every character until they're level 20. A lot of characters have a ton of stat growth that occurs in between the levels of 15 and 20. And so if you want the strongest version of that character, don't promote them until they're level 20. How promotion works in this game is you get what we call promotion sickness. So you take a cut in the unit's power with essentially the promise that that unit's going to become more powerful in their promoted class. Really, it allows them to use their promoted class as weapons, which most of the attack and increase to power is through the weapons in this game. So promotion is totally necessary. However, what promotion sickness actually is I believe 80% of the benchmark of that character at the specific level that you're promoting them at. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, that means if, let's just say I have 10 agility on max at level 10. When I promote him at level 10, his agility will go down to 8, right? That's the easy way to look at it. But that's not always true, because maybe the benchmark for max is 10 agility at that time. But my max has 11 agility at level 10. When you promote him, it's still going to be 80% of the benchmark. So that 10 agility, or that 11 agility becomes 8 agility because it's 80% of the benchmark, which was 10. So the idea behind min-maxing is that you are trying to build your character to the highest level, so that way when you get the promotion sickness, it puts you back to the 80% of the benchmark at that time. So theoretically, if you're promoting them at 20, that's the highest their benchmark can possibly be before promotion. And so their stats are, yes, they like percentage-wise, if you're like taking 80% of a bigger number, it's actually a bigger amount of sickness, right? Or a bigger amount of reduction. But you're raising the base stat. And so if you promote, and NoWorries wrote a guide on game FAQs talking about all of this, I think. So essentially, if you want the strongest characters, level them to 20. There are some characters that, like, for instance, Pele. Pele, when you get Pele at level 8, he's already so strong. And so his levels tend to, like, 17. He barely gains any stats. So promoting him at level 10 compared to promoting him at level 12, very little change on his benchmark. So he basically is the same Pele promoting at level 12 compared to promoting at level 10. The same is true for Balboroy. He basically has the same stats promoted for level 10 through 14. So unless you're 2020ing them, just promote them at 10. Characters like Arthur are just rubbish characters, right? Until you start putting some work into them. And Arthur, his stat growth, like if you looked at his growth chart for almost all of his stats, are like hockey puck or hockey stick, like way high at the end. So as soon as he gets to like 17, 18, 19, 20, that's when his stats take off. But then you promote him, and then it's the same thing in his promotion. His stats grow very little until the end, and then they take off. But technically, Arthur is the best character if you 2020 him. If you're looking for the character that you need to put the least amount of work into, Pele's stat growth starts up high at the start and kind of tapers off, both in his natural state and in his promoted state. So Pele's growth in promotion is so strong right off the bat. So it makes sense to promote him right away and gain him a couple levels. We do kind of... I think Shining Force Central, is that Mugi's website? She kind of has some, just some little graphs of like the growth of each character's stat. I think they're all accurate. I've never really checked. I've been wanting to put together the benchmarks for every single character, and I have a spreadsheet that I started that was kind of like a character promotion calculator, estimator. So hopefully that was a detailed enough explanation. I guess does anyone have any questions about that? I'm gonna continue on. I thought NoWorries Guide had the benchmarks tabled, but it's not code-based. It was just observation with a sample of 10. Yeah, and the whole concept, and NoWorries even says this in, I think, one of his videos. I do talk a lot. Thanks, Birdman. NoWorries even says this in one of the videos, that his guide where he leveled everyone up to like level 20 10 times was actually a waste. The reason it's a waste is because of the benchmark. Like, we used to think that the stats in Shining Force were just an average. Like, not even an average. Well, we were trying to get the average, and that's what NoWorries' attempt was. It's like, well, if I leveled this character up to 20 10 times, what's like the average stat that it's going to be? And it's kind of true, because theoretically the average will be really close to the benchmark. But it's an unnecessary exercise because it's a benchmark. So what I will tell you is if you promote a character at level 12, and I'm just going to say, I'll say it this way. If you promote a character at level 12 10 different times, every time you promote that character at level 12, their stats are going to be the exact same in promotion. There you go, Gremlin. If Max is promoted at level 10, he will always have 18 HP, 11 attack, 10 defense, 9 agility. Whatever, something like that. Okay? Now, theoretically, the higher you get, the more those stats will go up. Specifically, and probably one of the most valuable of those are going to be his HP and his defense will be higher. That'll just make him a little bit tankier. All right, I'm going to carry on. We didn't promote, so I'm going to use the Angel Wing again, and we're going to promote. Promoting Pele. No, that's a great question. These are things I want to describe and put down in video format, so people have tutorials to go to for this to help hopefully start speedrunning the game. All right, Pele's been promoted. I am going to move the speed ring from Henri to Pele, but not equip it yet. I moved Tau up here to make sure that she pulls the aggro of the Bat and Pegasus Knight to the right. Henri needs to stay where she's at. Domingo moves on the railing. Max will move just to the right of Domingo. All of these moves are pretty calculated until things get messed up. as is always the case. La-di-di-di. By the way, Chapter 5 is my favorite. I just moved Pele all the way to the right. He's got the power ring, and technically it hasn't smoked. The other thing I will mention here is we need to make sure that Balbaroi is at 9 and 52 experience. And he is. Max goes right here. Balbs can move and attack this conch. The cool thing about this fight is the trigger for all the AI is right here, this horizontal line. So technically I could be here and I could be here, and the enemies on the bottom, their AI will not be triggered. So I'm going to attack this conch with Balbaroi right now. Because I can. La-da-dee-di-di. Can I move here? Tau down. Just one. What we're trying to do is force a couple of formations to be formed. I'm going to move Balbs back over here. That's going to be Pele's to finish off. La-dee-di-di. The hope is this Pegasus Knight up above on the top right here outturns Max. If he doesn't, I have to stay with Max. I'm going to move Ken right here. Yeah, I have to stay with Max. So we've created a nice two-man formation. I'm going to blaze 3 it, and then depending on how much damage is done to the Seabat, enough, Henri is just going to blaze 2 it, trying to conserve her MP. Domingo's going to stay. Shellfish hit for pretty hard. Yeah, Henri's got rubbish MP right now, so trying to conserve her MP as much as possible. Also, Domingo is pretty over-leveled at this point, so we don't really need to attack at all with Domingo. Okay, I'm going to equip the speed ring. Going to move Balbs right here. Blaze 3, freeze 2. Hopefully Domingo outturns the Shellfish. Alright, the reason I equipped the speed ring on Pele is because I need him to outturn the Pegasus Knights on this turn so he can hit a certain spot to bring them up. Unfortunate. I'm going to put him right here. I know that this is going to cause him to be attacked. But I think he'll be close enough to this conch on the left to keep the aggro of the conch there. Ah! What do I know? It's actually probably because he's not on the playable field, he's not a target. Yeah, I think that's what I did. Mistake. It's okay, we got plenty of people to clean up. So I need Pele to go here to pull up the Pegasus Knights. We're gonna put Max here, sure, why not? Ouch! This is gonna hurt a little. Uh-oh. That was unfortunate because Max's positioning is incorrect, so yeah, don't like that at all. Let's just go ahead. I'll give it to Balbzers. So that's level 10 for him. He's a little bit early. Nova? Why do you say Nova? Yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's just do this. Which force member is most likely to have... okay, not gonna acknowledge. Nova steering the boat. Oh! Gremlin, I didn't see your question. Hilarious. Let's put the power ring back on, do some more damage. Didn't hit it, so that's pretty crummy. Once again, this is a slow battle, and things just didn't go wrong, so I really want to go back and rework this. I know Cloud seems to have a fairly reliable battle here, so why wouldn't I just copy the world record holder? And Domingo's already level 5. He's really over-leveled. Okay, I wanted to show a good example of what the first battle of Chapter 5 should look like, since mine was a bit rubbish in the tutorial. It's good to see examples of when things kind of fall apart and how you need to react to it. But I'm going to show you Draciel's version of 5.1, which is pretty similar to mine, but probably more consistent. So I'm going to be adopting these strategies. One difference, though, is he didn't go and promote Pele here, which is an option. You can choose not to promote Pele, but I still feel like I am going to be promoting Pele here. And then giving Pele the speed ring. So far, the opener is the exact same. Da-dee-da-da. Yep. Yep. Everything's the same. The goal is we're gonna funnel the bats from the right, or the bat and the Peg Knight from the right, and the bats on the left, all into Max. And Domingo is guarding his bottom, and we're going to create another formation with the conches as they head up. The movement here is really, really cool. I like it a lot. So none of the Conch's aggro has been triggered yet because you have to get onto the dance floor to do that, which Draciel's going to do right now. There it is. So because he's now on the dance floor, but all the Conchas have already taken their turn, Ken doubled here. If he doesn't double, Balboroy is going to move into position here, and he could have finished it off. Max just has to stay. Max just stays right there. Bring Tau down to prep this two-man formation with a Blaze 3. And now, since Ken is on the floor, he's triggered the AI of the Conchas and the Shellfish to come onto the ship and start attacking. Domingo just stays, because he needs to be the blocker on the bottom. Yep, it's really cool. Really cool little formation here. No one's getting hit either. Got lucky again on a double attack. But likely, Ken would have been the one to finish off that Shellfish. So that's the finisher move. You keep Balbs there because we're going to create another three-man formation with the Shellfish and the Conchas, with Domingo being the target. This heal is probably unnecessary, but it is always scary to see Max's HP go down. We freeze the group just to make sure that we kill them all. Now the Shellfish hopefully outturns Domingo, and in this case he does. So Domingo has something to cast a spell against. The Conchas should outturn Max every time. They're much faster. We want to move Max now into a position where he's going to be the target of the Pegasus Knights as they start to come up. Pele just moved down to get into position to be the aggro trigger for the Pegasus Knights. Now the mages come down and double team this group of Shellfish. In this case, Draciel is saving one of the enemies for Domingo. If you needed to give some experience to Balboroy, I would consider doing that here. Now we're just waiting for the Peg Knights to come on up and create another two-man formation. It's beautiful. Dope! If he wanted to end the battle here, he could have cast a freeze 2 there. I think he's trying to distribute some more experience to Domingo, probably to try to get to level 4 to pick up freeze 2 on Domingo. Or, once again, if you needed to give Balbaroy a kill, he could finish off one of the Peg Knights. Try to, at least. And that's the end of the fight and how it should go. Thanks, Draciel. Okie dokie. So, a couple important things we have to do here. I didn't boost, so I don't have a broken ring. We have to go to headquarters and we have to put yogurt in. Yes, we do use yogurt in this run. And we're going to take out Ken. It's time to put take Ken off the team. Now, the rings, all the rings have to go to Balbaroy. Because the next battle is a snipe. So power ring and speed ring go down to Balbs, and then we have to pick up a very important item, the mobility ring, from this chest right here. And immediately pass that to Balbaroy as well, because he needs it in this next battle. In this chest to the left is a Shower of Cure. Also very useful. We save these basically all for chapters 7 and 8. You don't need to be holding on to it now, so you can immediately pass it to May. And you know what? May's holding on to a seed. I want that seed on max. It's also at this time, you don't have to do it now because it's likely that your ring's going to smoke at some point, but I like to buy a steel lance for Pele. Also, Pele did not get to level 2 in that last battle, so we're going to try to fish in some experience just a little bit here. Okay, as you can see, I went into the boat, I talked to Shell's mom, she let me pass the buoys. I'm now entering this weird blue thing in the ground. When you get to those next chests, you can say that it's optional if you're a new runner. Absolutely, thank you. Okay, why do we put Yogurt in the battle? Well, Yogurt is a beast character, so he automatically goes in basically the last position. And the last position for beasts is, in this battle, right below max. So it basically pushes everyone up one space. This allows for a couple different strategies for Balbaroy. I'll show you the one that I use, which you don't actually need to have Yogurt in the party to do this. Oh, okay, this is important. You need to equip the mobility ring, move the extra spaces, and then equip the speed ring on Balbaroy when it's Balbaroy's turn. We want Balbaroy going before all the worms in this battle. He needs to be going before the worms. And the Hellhounds, for that matter. He needs to be fast. At least that's the way we're playing it. There are others who... and I'm not going to kill Yogurt off. I actually want to kill him off in the next battle because I just find that the next battle goes a little bit more reliably if Yogurt is alive. There are runners who will promote Balbaroy before this fight and intentionally lower his agility and he becomes slower. And so then you're dealing with a slow Balbaroy instead of a fast Balbaroy. I prefer fast Balbaroy in this case. So that's why I promote him after this fight. Tau level 6. Our goal is Henri getting freeze 3. So I'm not doing anything with Domingo. He's already over leveled as it is. Once Henri gets to level 5, she gets freeze 3. She's not there yet. Balbs, really quick. Equip the mobility ring. Equip the speed ring. Use the power ring. I put him right in front of the skeleton. The skeleton blocks the hellhounds from being able to reach him, and the worm's AI says to go up toward the master mage. Alright, so this Seabat's in range. I don't like worms. The Seabat is in range for Henri and Tao to tag team kill, and that should get Henri to her next level. The only thing that could happen that would be a bummer is if Balboroy outturns Henri, which can happen. All right, I want to try to get an attack with Pele. Ah, he didn't even level up. Bummer. So instead, that cost an attack on Max, which is fine. He's pretty tanky, but it's just time loss. Nothing with Tao. Nothing with Domingo. Henri, kill the Seabat. I don't think the ring smoked again. She's level 5, low MP, but she now has freeze 3. And we send Balbs up the side. It might be smart to make a safety save here before you make this attack. Equip the mobility ring, move up to right beside the mage, equip the power ring. I'm gonna go ahead and save, and yep, I messed up because you have to, once you take the mobility ring off, you don't have that movement anymore. So as soon as you get out of that menu, you have to reset it. So you have the attack option right there. Just attack right away. Good thing I saved. So that would be the argument for you should make a save state right here. So we make a save state. This is, if you're trying for a world record, you don't save here. If you're just pushing for a PB, that save is 15 seconds. Not a big deal. Boo, saves! Yeah, save scumming. It's not everyone's favorite thing, but it is a thing. Okay, so now we need to go promote Balboroy. YOLO or bust, yeah, unnecessary. So let's say you don't save and you don't hit. Is Balbs dead? No, I think he probably survives in that case. I think he'll probably survive in that. He might lose boost and you'll have to move out, reboost, and then you're dealing with all the mobs at the bottom and they're attacking everyone and likely you're reviving someone. Is the run dead? Yes. Alright, we come to the priest. We're gonna promote Balbs. Is the run dead? No. If you lose 5 minutes here, so what? If you are just looking for a PB, like, it's 5 minutes. If you're pushing world record, like, yeah, I couldn't, if he missed, it'd be over for me. All right, we're gonna, because we just promoted, we're gonna pass the steel sword to Balbs. Now I pass the speed ring to Domingo. and the mobility ring to Domingo. And then I immediately equip the speed ring on Domingo. I want him speedy in the next fight because we need Balbaroy or Domingo, and I'm gonna buy a steel lance for Pele really quick. We need Domingo to go faster than the conches in this next battle. Okay, in the chest to the right here, there's 2 more stat boosting items. There's a Bread of Life and a defense potion. We skip these now in the main run, but if this is like your first time or if you're just trying to get through the run, I definitely recommend grabbing them and probably using them on Domingo at the beginning of chapter 7. I'm going to skip them. We're going to talk to the king. Fat Guy, I'm going to post them to YouTube as well. I'm going to try to edit them by chapter just to make it a little more like you can go to a specific chapter. Okay, movement's pretty precise on this first initial setup. We send Tao and Henri to the left. Domingo goes straight down, but he needs to equip the mobility ring and move 1 extra space. So he's 1 space above this sort of weird little hooky thing. And then I re-equip the speed ring on him because I want him to be going faster than everything else. And then he stay right there. Send Henri down to the left. Now, where Domingo's at is going to form a 3-man formation with the bats. Still won't have internet where I'm staying. Oh, that's right, that's right. And I think you have to be like YouTube Premium in order to download YouTube videos. Okay, the really important reason why you need Domingo to outturn the conches. Specifically, these 4 conches. If Domingo does not get onto the dance floor, as I like to call it, so every space similar to 5-1 below this line, then these conches on the bottom start going nuts, and their AI has them going everywhere. We want them to stay contained in this small spot, and I will hopefully be able to demonstrate why. All right, Pele's turn. Come down, equip the steel lance, and get this first attack off on the conch. Level 2, attack by 1, defense 1, hit points by 5. It's a good level, no speed. Sometimes, I'm usually hoping for like 1 speed or something there. We'll see if we can get him to level 3. All right, Balbs doesn't have anything equipped right now. I'm gonna put the steel sword on, and I'm going to use the power ring on him. Make him beefy. No smoke because tutorial. Put Max in this spot right here, and he will not aggro the conch. Put Jogurt right here, kitty corner to Balbs, and he will attract the attention of that conch, sort of. Tao moves to the right and Blaze 3's this group of sea bats. She killed one of them. Is that right? Domingo comes from below, Freeze 2's the rest of the group. Yeah, I think I want to revisit my 5-1. I'm not a huge fan of my 5-1 anymore. I thought it was amazing at one point, but I feel less happy about it because it seems to always just cause me problems. So the reason that we bought the steel lance was so Pele could do enough damage to that conch so that Henri could kill it with a freeze 1. Sometimes you get lucky and you could kill it with a blaze 1. Alright, Yogurt's dead. A little bit earlier than I wanted. It's alright, we got a pretty tanky Max, so I'm not too concerned. Yeah, I'm gonna go right here. I don't want to attract the attention of the bat. I'm going to try to weaken this Seabat. Nice. Okay, I'll take that for sure. All day long. And we'll try to kill this conch with Balbs, who is boosted. I think that Domingo is the target of this remaining bat. Perfect. And we have some formations now to work with. So Tau, we're just going to send over here and do a nice little Blaze 1. Because we saw Pele did enough damage to almost kill it. Okay. Henri comes right here and does a freeze 3. It's a lot of MP to use on these enemies, but it's more about the positioning in my mind. Can we get an honorable mention of the Henri positioning that she can block the Conch's head on or one down and one left of that to keep enemies from stopping Tau from reaching a formation? I think what we're going to see here is that there will be a Conch that blocks Tau, but theoretically we can take care of it with Pele, perhaps? Perhaps? Oh, that's not even true, is it? So we'll attack with Pele here. Tau can finish that off. This is typical. But at least Max is here to take most of the aggro. So we're going to have Tau come here. And then Henri's going to move. But we're still going to wait. Actually, I suppose we got a pretty looking formation there right now. Depending if anything changes, we may end up... Okay, it's all jacked up. And Henri's poison. Ugh. Sad. The goal is to make as many formations here as you possibly can. I don't think Freeze 3 was in reach. But what we're going to play is... Oh, really? That shellfish hadn't gone yet? I can't. It's just a sorry example of a speedrun tutorial. I'm gonna have to go back and like fix these battles. So sad. Max getting clobbered. Hopefully Balbs will take care of him soon here. Alright, and Balbs is now exactly where I want him. One attack away from a level up. Ugh. This is brutal. Alright, we're gonna try to make a formation here. It all kind of depends on Henri, I feel like. And we're gonna have to revive, or not revive, but fix everyone's poison issues here. Okay, Henri. I need you to go. Okay. Oh yeah. That's okay. That's quite alright. Sorry excuse for a 5-3. But there's some of the fundamentals in there. Sure. Cloud, help me with my chapter 5. Okay, I wanted to make a quick recording of what I would expect 5-3, or how I would expect 5-3 to go, just to kind of clarify, because when I did the tutorial, the battle just went to crap, and I made one pretty devastating move that hurt in the long run. So I want to point that move out, and I'm going to show Draciel. He posted this video, and it's the strat that I'm trying to go for every time. So let's go ahead and watch this. I'm going to play a little bit of background music because we're muting his channel, and I'm just going to talk through what we see here. So this is a similar startup to what I had. We send the mages to the left, and we bring Domingo down to the same spot. So no change here. Yeah, everything should be the same opener. The only difference from my tutorial is that Yogurt is already dead in this case, which totally is fine. Equip the Steel Lance to make sure you do enough damage to the conch, so same as what I do. It's really important that Max stays on that spot, parallel or on the horizontal line of that railing, because then the aggro of the conch goes to Domingo rather than to Max. Move Tau down in Blaze 3, the group of bats. La da dee da dee da. Domingo comes down and around and frees 2s. Frees 2, the group of bats, to finish them all off. Henri comes down to finish off the conch. You want to conserve as much mana as you can. So if it's 6 or less HP left on the conch, use Blaze 1. If it's 8, use Freeze. Now it's gonna look and feel like Domingo's gonna get locked in, but he doesn't really. This is what I do too. Come around. Typically both bats will outturn Pele. It's one outturned if they both outturn. Like, that's kind of a bummer. I would probably put Pele right in the middle of the two bats so they can still go up. And you can use the power spear on one of them. I'm not sure. No, actually, that might be too far. That's too far down. So scratch that. No attack. You have to just stay. Now, we boosted Balbaroy, which we needed to do in order to be able to one-shot this conch. Bring Max down so he becomes the threat of the bats. Hopefully Pele hit, and you can finish off one of the bats with Tau here. Bring Domingo down to freeze to this group of 4, the 2 Peg Knights, the Gargoyle, and 1 Conch. The error that I made in the tutorial was the positioning of Henri is very important. Henri must go to that spot right there. This will produce some really nice formations pretty consistently. So we finish off that group of 4. Super nice. And this conch is just going to focus Domingo. And the conch below also focuses Domingo and just stays. So Pele comes up, and Pele and Max tag team the Seabat responsibilities here. So it's their job together to get rid of the Seabats. We're not going to force Balbs to do that. This is the riskier play. If you move Balbs all the way down, he is going to take an attack from a shellfish. He can survive the attack, but if he gets doubled or crit, he will die. Now, Tao just has to move down, and she's got this beautiful formation. This is the hit that Balbs has to tank. Henri finishes off this group of 4. And Draciel gets some good turn orders here. Specifically, Domingo outturns that other shellfish. So, and Domingo has enough MP that he can cast 1 more freeze too. So sometimes you don't have that MP. This was a fine thing to do. I personally try to keep Balboroy from leveling. Draciel goes for another attack here and gets the level up to 2. You can do this. This is fine. It just leads to some consequences in chapter 6 in my mind. I don't think if you didn't attack, this would probably last 1 more round. So, up to you. You could also send Pele down afterwards and maybe get the final attack and kill. And that's the fight. Alright, that's chapter 5. I'm going to take a short second to go to the bathroom, and I'll be right back.